Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I know, where's Dom? Listen, he had a last minute emergency, so he has to be out for today, but we're gonna keep this thing rolling. We had topics that we were gonna discuss, and we're still gonna discuss them. It would just be me talking about them to you. So hope you enjoy the video. Before we get started in the video, how are y'all doing? I see you're doing well. Okay, that's what we're gonna do here. If Dom's not here, I'm gonna ask how your well-being is. And I should probably do that in future videos. I should probably ask my viewers, how is your well-being, right? So in the comment section down below, in every video, just make sure that if I ask you, just say, I'm doing well, or whatever you wanna do. Words are free, right? The first topic we were gonna talk about was mastering the two identities of a Black man. And the reason why we wanted to talk about this, because we felt as though that it was really important. You know, it was uber important for not just, Black people or specifically Black men to understand this, but everyone as a whole should really understand that, like, not everybody lives in your reality, right? Not everybody can just go out at any time, in any place, do anything, right? It's some people, depending on what your race is, depending on where your location is, things of that nature, you just have to realize that certain things you have to think about, like in certain things, certain people think about, right? So the two identities, for those who don't know, for me as a Black man, it is important for me to understand that there are two identities in this American society that I have to maintain. I have to know when to switch on and when to turn it off. Because if I don't, I can mess around and get in trouble in both scenarios. So the two identities of a Black man are this. In one scenario, in the workplace, I have to act a certain way in the grocery store, in the mall, just in general at a football game, just out in public, or just in my neighborhood. It's just a persona that I have to have on. I have to have this shield that says, I'm not a threat, I'm friendly, I'm here because I'm a human being. That's one identity, right? That's the first identity, right? The second identity is who we really are, right? Who we really are deep inside, our culture, right? Our personalities really thrive and flourish, if you will, in our second identity. That's where Black people thrive. And for those of you who are Black, should know what I'm talking about when I say flourish, like reveal your true self and your true identity, right? It's not that Black people are lost. When I say identity, we're not lost. We know exactly who we are. In fact, because of these two identities, it's the opposite. It's like I now am more attentive. It's like driving automatic versus stick. Driving automatic, sometimes when you drive down the road, you can't even remember the buildings you were passing automatic. But if you drive a stick or a manual, you're moving a lot. So you tend to remember, you may not remember everything, but you tend to remember more things than if you were to drive automatic, because you're aware, you're self-aware. That's the same thing for us when it comes to identities. We're self-aware of certain things at certain places, because if we don't, we can really get in trouble. And everyone knows there's no secret, right? Racism is real. And so we have to acknowledge that. And we have to have these two identities. It's not an option. It's not like, oh, let's just have two identities become a tradition. No, it's not a tradition. It's something that we have to do. And hopefully one day we can get rid of. But as of right now, that's something we have to do. We as Black people, we have to maintain and sustain the two identities, which are know when to act where you are, and flourish and show your true colors, right? Your character. Your character really shines in your second identity. I should have said that. It really does. It's not that you can't show your true character here, but it's just limited. You know what I mean? The second topic we were going to talk about was being happy before you get into a relationship. This is key. This is key for not just young people, but like everybody. Like there are many people today, or how many people do you know are in a relationship and they're totally unhappy? Like they're not going out, they're not hanging out with each other. The two people, they're not connecting. The chemistry isn't there, or the chemistry was never there, right? That happens. So I feel as though people really aren't happy anymore. People aren't doing, the self-inventory, if you will, before they get a relationship. That's the whole point of a relationship. The point of a relationship is to add on the happiness that you already have. That's the key. I need to put that on a t-shirt. Remind me, viewers. I need to put that on a t-shirt. But it's self-happiness first, and then two-person relationship. And by the way, you should, my opinion, you should never have an open-ended relationship. It causes problems, even if you both are cool with it, right? Because there are people who are cool with open. Even if you are cool with it, just keep it exclusive, right? Just keep it together. Either you're together or you're not. There is no in between. There is no friends with bennies. There's no open relationship. Just keep it closed. Keep it just you. No one else should be in your circle, right? If you have two people in a circle, no one should come in and invade that circle. Right? I don't care who it is, male, female, doesn't matter. No one should invade that circle. So that's one. Second thing is so before you get a relationship, you should work on self-happiness, right? And the question may come upon you, well, how do I become happy? Well, there's many variety of ways, right? I can't tell you how you can become happy, but I can tell you what makes me happy. Maybe you can see a little bit of you in me, or maybe you can see a little bit of someone else that you know in me, right? So this is just really trying to help you, right? Tom and I were trying to help, relate to people that, it's important to really be happy before you get in a relationship. You're not supposed to, the only thing a relationship should do is add on to what you already have, right? So if you don't have anything and you go into a relationship not having that something, and the same person does the same thing, first of all, if the other person's not happy and you're not happy, that relationship is going nowhere. I'm sorry, it's going nowhere, right? But even if you're not happy, but they're happy, the relationship still won't work because there's no connection. One of you isn't, it's like a positive and negative. One of you isn't on the same track. So how can that really function and operate, correctly, right? It's important that we all understand that self-happiness is saying every day when you wake up in the morning, say, I'm enough, right? I'm good looking, I'm handsome. If you're a guy, if you're a girl, you say, I'm pretty, I'm gorgeous, right? I'm eloquent. I'm the definition of eloquence, right? You should say these things. Those are just self-care tips. One of many variety of ways. Whatever works for you. This is just something that myself and I know other people use as well. Telling yourself that you're worth it, right? That you're more than enough. And then maybe throughout the day, you may see somebody, right? You see somebody, they're very good. They have these, physiques, their physique is on point, basically, right? Their physique is on point, and you kind of get discouraged. Like, man, I wish I looked at that. Just stop right there. Pause yourself, right? Pause yourself and think back and self-reflect. Be like, okay, what do I have? What's the list that I have? Everything to be grateful for, right? The things that I am, not the things that I'm not, right? Because we're always gonna want something. The things that I do, I have full set of hair, right? I have eyes, right? I'm a decent looking human being, right? I got 2 arms, 2 legs. I have all my body parts here. I have some amount of friends, right? I have some friend groups. I go to this school. I go here. I'm making some kind of money, right? I have these things. If you just do that self-inventory, do it every day. Remind yourself. I promise you, you will be a lot happier, right? That's just one small part. That's not going to solve everything. It's just one small part. So what you have to realize is that this small part adds on to more things. So the more things. So maybe today you said, I'm more than enough. I'm worth it. Right? But tomorrow, maybe you decide to compliment someone else, right? It's better to give than receive. You compliment somebody. Hey, if you're a guy, you say, hey, excuse me, ma'am, you look very beautiful, right? Don't be too weird, but just be general about it, right? Be general. And the same vice versa. If you're a girl, you see another girl looking good, you're like, wow, I like that, dress, or I like that, the jeans, or I like that purse, or shoes, or whatever, right? I like the way your hair looks, things of that nature. Just compliment people, whatever works, right? Compliment people. It's going to really teach you to be self-appreciative and have that mindset of self-happiness, which will eventually elevate you to what's called the higher self. The higher self is that space where you just feel good. Like there has to be, you have to have experience Some days you don't know where it came from. You're just happy, right? You're just happy. You have no idea where it came from. You feel the spirit is good for you, right? And I'm not trying to get religious, but I'm just saying that's human nature. There's nothing wrong with just naturally being happy, right? Make sure you do your best to stay in that state at all times, right? There's some days are going to have lags. There's some days are going to be, big burdens are going to come. Challenges are coming your way. Please believe that. But you have to learn how to go about it anyway, right? So that was one of the things we were going to talk about today, the true meaning of self-happiness. Now, if you're already happy, right, that's half the battle. If you're already happy and that other person is already happy, now guess what? You get two positives coming together, which eventually add on to the happiness you both had originally. You know what that means? That relationship is gonna double the fun, double the energy, double the compassion, double the commitment, right? Double the connection, double the chemistry. Everything kind of falls in line. You don't have to work as hard. It's like saving money, right? If you wait till you're 40, or if you wait to get in a relationship to be happy, it's too late. You're gonna try to. You can't fix people. You can't fix that, right? But if you're already happy, or if you're already saving your money when you're young, that way when you get older and you invest in it over time, compound interest, it grows, just like a relationship. You have been, what I say before, self-reflect, self-happiness, self-inventory, things I'm grateful for, complimenting people. You keep doing that, eventually it will add on and you will become this higher version of yourself, right? You become this super Raheem, for example, just me, for example, the super Raheem, that's just out here spreading, positivity, spreading energetic happiness to people, just good energy, right? There's nothing wrong with spreading good energy to people. In fact, that's something that we need in the world today. The last topic I'm going to talk about today is probably the most important one, right? They're all important. This one just somewhat top notch is that. It's believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself at all times, even when people don't believe in you. Yes, I said it, because people aren't going to believe in you. How many times have you tried to accomplish something? How many times have you tried to achieve something? How many times have you set your mind to set forth and said, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to finish this thing out. Right? I'm a writer. I'm going to go out here and accomplish this thing. Right? I'm going to go over here and, go through this process over here, this journey. How many times have you had that? And then something happened to where somebody said something to you to where you were just like, you just lost the motivation. You just lost the energy. You just lost the commitment, right? I'm here to tell you that despite all of that, all that noise, that's what it is, it's just noise, you have to endure. You have to keep going. You have to keep believing in yourself. When you see no way how that you're going to get that thing, right? You have to believe in yourself. There's a spark in you. It's not, you don't need to go ask people what your spark is. Go find it yourself. Do self-inventory. That's very important. That also ties to self-happiness, because when you say the things that you're grateful for, and you just naturally releasing positive energy, you're relating positive energy, that ties into your believement of yourself. That's not a word, but I just made it up, but it sounded right. So we're gonna stick with it. You gotta believe in yourself, even when nobody does, because it's hard. This world, best believe, is gonna have difficult challenges. Best believe that. But you gotta keep going anyway, because if it's not hard, it's not worth it. If it's easy, it's not worth it. If my goal is to get from here to the end of that wall, that's easy. I can just get up and walk there. But if my goal is to get to here and 10 miles down, right? But the 10 miles down is reward. There's reward at the end of that road. Once I hit 10-mile mark, it's a reward. It's worth it. There's nothing worth me trying to get to this wall right here, other than just to say, I did it the fastest. There's nothing proud. Don't be proud of that, okay? Be proud of, yes, I went through this long trek. I learned something. That's the key about failure. You learn things. You're not just failing just to be failing. right? I was going to talk about the school system, but I think I'm about to save that for another video. So let's put that in the draft, right? But it's important that you understand that the failures are really stepping stones, right? They're use those burdens as stepping stones. So every time you fail, you say, all right, I know what not to do. All right, I also know what not to do. You just keep learning. You keep soaking, you're a sponge. You keep soaking, you keep receiving information and understanding what all I need not to do. Because you ever heard the saying, failure waits to success. It's a true statement. That's very true. The most successful people in the world have failed the most out of everyone else. That's a true statement. So you have to now don't go out there and fail on purpose, right? Do your best. That's the thing. That's the difference between successful people and non-successful people. It's they learn from their mistakes and they get better and better and better. They still fail. Even when they're successful, the failure never stops. Failure doesn't stop for anybody. No matter how successful you are, or how unsuccessful you are, failure never stops. Life never gets easier. Challenges will never go away. None of that. It never stops. It's a constant balance. Life is balanced. You cannot have one thing all the time. All the time. Just like you cannot avoid one thing all the time. This is balance. Life's gonna happen to you. It's gonna be some ups, gonna be some downs. You're gonna have some good days, you're gonna have some terrible days, right? You have some great days, wonderful days, traumatic days, disastrous days, right? So you have to understand that throughout all of that, you stand up at the end of the day. This is what the most important part. I want you to take this in. At the end of the day, you stand up and you say, I did it. I learned a lot today. And guess what? I'm gonna do the same thing tomorrow, but 2 times better, right? Then the next day after that, I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna do it 10 times better. And the day after that, same thing, do it 20 times better, right? You keep learning, you keep growing for your mistakes. The hardest thing to do is to get back up from a day that you did terrible. I know that feeling. It's just your day was sloppy, nothing good really happened, right? You didn't really accomplish a lot of things, right? But you have to keep going because those days are actually necessary to success. And I'm not just talking about monetary success. I'm talking about self-happiness. To me, that's the definition of success. Is self-happiness. Once you really understand that you can be happy with not a lot of money, I mean, it's inevitable, right? It's supposed to be inevitable, right? You should want, to just be happy, right? Who doesn't want to be happy? Who doesn't want to be, who doesn't want the finer things in life? It's okay to be grateful for what you have. That's what you should do, absolutely. But why not get something else? You might not need that, but why not? This is, you only have, your life is limited. You only have a certain number of years, and you don't even know when you're gonna check out of here, right? You have no idea. So why not live the most? Why not responsible? But why not try to, go above and beyond? Don't be ordinary. Just don't be ordinary. Be extraordinary. Go out there and be extra. Why not? Right? Now, there's nothing wrong with being an ordinary person, but at the same time, why not? Why not go for it? So I digress, but basically what I'm trying to say is there are times when people are going to doubt you. There are times where people that you thought were on your side are just going to be like, nah, you can't do this. But use that as motivation. Use that as fuel. Use that to go 10 times what they said. And you're not really doing it to prove them wrong. You're doing it to see where's my potential? Where's it lie? I want to get there, right? You keep going and going and going and going. Eventually, you come to a point where you will look back and see all the progress you made. Not look back and dwell on the past, but look back and see, man, from where I started to where I'm at now, I'm so proud of myself. Why? Because every single day, at the end of the days, I stood up and I said, I'm all right. I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow, but 10 times better. You did that every day for a long period of time. And eventually that adds up, right? Just like money. Even though it's maybe $10 a week, eventually it adds up, right? So just please believe in yourself, relay positive energy, create self-happiness before you get in a relationship, and just be motivated for the finer things in life. All right, everybody, that is going to conclude this video. We thank you guys for watching. I understand that the format was a little different. We've been doing that lately. We apologize for that. But like I said, things happen, life happens, and we just gotta keep going, keep on enduring. So thank you guys. For those of you that stuck to it, stuck to the rest of this video, I thank you, love you so much. I need to tell you guys that. I really do love you. I love you so much. Please like and comment down below. Don't forget to like and comment down below. Put some pressure on that notifications bell. And as always, subscribe to the RDK and Dom Universe channel for future videos.